Hey everyone, welcome back to Rink's Garage, and as you can see today we're coming to you from the new shop, not finished yet. No insulation, temporary lights, but we got a fire truck in here. She's got no brakes, makes it kind of hard to stop for them fire calls, so take a look at her and see what we can find out. Like I said, we got this old fire truck. She's a mid-50s International from Chicago, which is about 20 miles to the west. Working on it for guys. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. Use it for parade vehicle, cruise around. Hard to say, but she's got no brakes. Drove her over here with just the emergency brake, which is, I believe it's just a drum brake on the transmission. So, first things first, as you can see, the pedals go through the floor on this guy, so master cylinder's probably down underneath, so we'll crawl under there, see if it's got fluid on it. Maybe it's as simple as that. Probably not. So, as you can see, we got a master cylinder under here. Lever comes through the floor, pushes the plunger in, so let's crack him open. Let's see if there's anything in it. It does have a booster over on the passenger side, so basically it's just a one port, goes to the booster, and then it splits off to all four wheels from there. So see what we got. She is bone dry. So, I'll grab some fluid, dump her in, and we'll find out where she's leaking. Now, of course, since it's empty, that usually means there's a leak somewhere. So, we will find out. Oh, first spill on the new floor. Perfect. So now that we got fluid, we probably should inspect the lines, which nothing appears to be real rusty. So this top line comes from the master cylinder, runs over under here to a booster, vacuum booster most likely. And then comes back to this T and splits front to back. So these old ones, if you blow a brake line, you lose all your brakes. So that's good. There's the emergency brake, just a drum, back of the transmission. But looks like maybe a little grease on that one. I don't know if there's any brake fluid leaks. That one is pretty dry, and the back, both sides also look pretty dry, so. Next thing to do is step on the pedal and see if anything happens, I guess. See if we can crack open a bleeder, if it'll come open. See if she'll move any fluid. Now you should start in the back corner, farthest away, but I'm gonna do the front one, just because it's easier to get at. See if we're having any luck getting the bleeder cracked loose. Nothing is real rusty, but this thing probably spent most of its life in a shed. Oh, how about that? We got fluid. Now, I wonder if I can just pull on the brake pedal from here. See what happens. Oh, starting to get something out. Oh. So, she's just completely drained of fluid, evidently. Top that master cylinder off and we'll try it again, and then we can move around to the different corners, see if we can get fluid up and get some pedal. So, refilled the master. Amazingly enough, this one, we got juice back here. That's good. All right. Well, maybe try and pump them up, see what happens. Well, after multiple attempts, I think we maybe have a bad master cylinder. It does pump a little bit of fluid, but it doesn't ever get any pedal or really push any air out. So go in there and drop that master cylinder down and we'll test her on the bench, see if it's putting out any pressure. I don't know if we can find one of them. All right, got the master cylinder in the shop here. Device. And it appears as though it is working. I just got it hooked up to a hose and it does pump. And if you block the end off, it does. Ooh. If it's just bypassing inside, maybe. It's just circulating fluid inside, so maybe that is the reason we can't pump anything. So maybe we'll see. It does have a snap ring. Maybe see if we can get it apart and see if the leather seal in there is bad or what. But see if we can get that snap ring out. All right, so I got the snap ring out of the end. Now we got to try and get this end out of there, which might be difficult. Get all the grime out of there. Looks to be just a brass washer basically that holds the spring and the cylinder in there. It's just a matter of getting her popped loose. Well, I missed it on camera, but I got the washer out, and then should be a spring behind here. Plunger back there with rubber. All I did was it was in the end like that, and I used my pry bar and got in there and popped it out. So now see if we can get the rest of that slidden out of there and see how all the seals look. All right, so I got all the seals slid out. I don't know if you can see in there, but the bore doesn't look too bad. So basically how it works is there's one hole up top that the fluid can go down in, and then you got your spring in there, so the fluid goes down in the spring, fills that up, and then when you step on it, it slides this seal forward, puts pressure to push it out this port. So means when we were pushing on it, it was shooting back in. Once this is past the hole in there, fluid should not be coming back around until you let it go back. So thinking we got fluid leaking by on the back side and then coming back out the hole when you're compressing the spring. And the plunger does have holes in the back of it, so when you let it back, it can let any fluid behind here come back through if there is some. But I'm wondering if we just didn't have a good seal on this gasket, but we'll run to town, see if we can find a kit for it or different master cylinders. We'll see what I can find. Well, made her back from town. Was able to come up with a new cup. Cleaned up all the parts, cleaned out our master cylinder. So the next thing we want to do is hone out the cylinder. So it's got a little gunky stuff in there. I got a little brake hone I picked up, so all I'm going to do is put a little light oil in there and on here, and we'll hone it out good so we get a good seal on that new cup, and we'll throw her back together, and hopefully that solves our problem. A little oil in there. We'll just run our hone in. Spray her out and clean her up, see what she looks like. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but you can see on the bottom, you know, if it ever had water sitting in there, it's got a couple little pits in it. It doesn't feel horrible, but feels pretty smooth, but you can see some pitting in there, so see what happens. Throw a new cup in it. Hopefully it doesn't leak by too bad. Get us some brakes. Alright, so now we will go back together. We need this little guy goes in the end. Lets fluid get by out to the brake system. So that goes in first. Make sure that's in there straight, which it is. Next, our cup will go in. We'll make sure that's nice and clean. Give her a little bit of oil. So that goes in backwards. So that is trying to seal up on that spring. Get him pushed in there. Make sure it's sealed up on the spring good. And then our plunger, which has, it should be four, so when that pushes in, push all the fluid, or if it gets fluid behind it, it can come back. It's got like a little one-way check type deal. But so we didn't have this seal to replace, but it wasn't leaking to the outside, so we'll just clean it up real good. Slide him in to the bore. There we go. Then we just need to hold that in, get our outside washer in, and then the snap ring. So this might be kind of tough to get and stay in there. Might have to tip him up on end. Need to invest in a better vise. So you need to push this down and then get that snap ring in there. So probably what I will do is get her down there. Without getting it too crooked. Until you get both seals in, then it'll align itself. If we can hold that down, tap our outside washer back in. Then, see if I can get this little snap ring back in there. definitely got some more tension on her. So hopefully that cures what was wrong with it. So we got our new seal in. Now you're going to want to bleed this master cylinder too, because you don't want air in that plunger. So I think we'll do that down on the truck. We'll get it bolted back in, put some fluid on it, and we'll just run a hose from this port back up in it. Run the brakes a couple times, get the master cylinder bled, then we can hook our brakes back up. And hopefully she's got some stopping power. Alright, so we're back under. I got the master cylinder filled up. We're just going to stick the hose back over the top into the thing and pump her a couple times. Get that cylinder filled up with fluid before we hook the line up. See if I can do it without making a giant mess on myself. So you can hear some air bubbles. Give her 2, 3 good pumps to get the cylinder filled up. Like that. And then we can put our brake line back on without making too big of a mess, hopefully. Alright. Now, let's see if I can pull on the pedal and see if there's any sort of resistance. Oh yeah. We definitely got pedal now. Oh yeah, she tightened right up. Okay. So, now, we'll throw the cap back on for now. And I'll see if I can bleed a little bit out. I think the lines were pretty full, so there's minimal air in there. But I'll crack a bleeder loose and just make sure we're on track here. Well, moment of truth. Let's hop in, fire it up, see if we got any pedal. Got a little bit of fade to her. Might have a little air in it still. Oh, now she's solid. Little tiny bit of fade, but might as well take her outside, see what happens. Well, that didn't fix it. Had pedal, and as soon as I got out the door, she went to the floor. So, look at something else. I don't think it's bypassing in the master cylinder. It might be that brake booster. So I gotta do a little research on that. I don't know if there's two separate things, because it seems like it's pushing fluid and it just comes right back, but it's not doing anything to put the brakes on. So see if I can find some info on that booster and we'll go from there. All right, it's a couple days later. I did a little bit of research on that hydrovac unit and I don't think that's the problem. It appears as though even if that thing is not working, it should push fluid through for like manual brakes. So went out, got ourselves a new unit, master cylinder. So I think we'll throw that in and go from there. Hopefully that'll fix her up and we can just bleed the brakes and everything will work, but let's go find out. Well, we're down here under the truck outside this time, but I'll pull all this stuff off again and we'll get her switched out. I'm gonna try something a little bit easier this time. All right, there we go. That was way easier. I actually stole that trick from the Millennial Farmer. I wonder you can get so much done. Well, let's see if we got pedal now. Probably gonna have a little air in it, but oh, it feels different. Pump her up. Oh, getting a little bit. She's got some air in it. Let's see if I can get Peyton to come out and help me bleed the brakes. Okay, pump her up. Tell me when you're ready.
I will. Okay, I pumped it 4 times.
Got her all the way to the floor?
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
Yep, I'm holding it.
Here. Okay, pump it up
Let
again.
Okay.
Okay, pump it up.
Okay.
All right, I think we got her all bled out, so let's hop in, see what happens. It's gonna be the cameraman. Fire the old girl up. Come on. She idle. Took one pump, but we got pedal. I don't know if the hydrovac's working. I don't. Huh? Hard to tell. All right, see what happens. If we don't have brakes, we're gonna end up in the ditch. Get some speed. Ready? Whoa! Brakes work. Might still be a little air. You all right?
Yeah. I just flew under the windshield.
They're a little grabby. Not too bad. Might be a little bit of air left in there, but she'll work herself out. The hydrovac is working. They're pretty stout for brakes. All right, hold on so you don't hit the windshield. There's a fire. Let's stop. Oh yeah. Cool. Well, our brakes are working. Well, we got working brakes on the old fire truck, so I think that air will work out of it. So it's got pretty good brakes, real good brakes on the second pump. So I think that's gonna do it for this episode. So thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.